Hello everybody and welcome to IA Command, and we've got another IACP skirmish game for you. This one from round 2 of our June tournament. We had 14 players playing in this tournament, and we're going to be seeing a game between Rivian and Christian. Now we just saw Rivian play against Kyle. Rivian is playing the double scout troopers with Kane, Somos, Iden Versio, and Thrawn. And we got to see him play against Kyle's force users, and Kyle was able to take that game. But now we're going to get to see him playing here against Christian, who is also playing Rebel force users, but a pretty much completely different build than the one we saw Kyle using, who was using Wonder Twins with Cal Kestis and Kanan. Now we see Christian playing Jedi Luke with one of my favorite figures, Davith Elso, as well as Mara Jade. And he's got Chirrut Imwe to round out his attackers, as well as C-3PO, Gideon, and Yoda. So we've got 3 focusers in the list. And instead of R2-D2, we also see he's playing Chopper. So that's a figure we don't often see. Actually, we do see him a fair amount of times, but he's considered a bit of a secondary pick to R2-D2, and sometimes you see him run alongside R2-D2, since instead of drawing cards, he actually kind of denies the opponent command cards by threatening them with that system shock ability to deal 2 damage and 1 strain to anything on a terminal. You see the IACP mark there. That really just means he's got an extra trait added. In Season 8 he gained the Technician trait, but everything else about him is completely the same, so he can play the new Technician cards that have been released in IACP, but otherwise he's exactly the same as he was in the regular game before IACP. And we are playing on the Infiltration Games mission of the IACP Training Grounds. So this is the one where the players are picking up taps, which are these items here at the back of the deployment zones. They have to spend an action to interact to retrieve them, and then a figure that is carrying one of those taps can move next to one of the panels on the map here, which is these double groups of neutral mission tokens, to install them. And if a player has their tap for their color deployment zone installed on a panel, they get 4 VPs at the end of each round. Now once they are installed though, they can be attacked, and they have 5 health and 1 block. And once a panel that's installed on is attacked, that tap goes away permanently. So it's a bit risky to try to install on these panels. You kind of have to do it at the end of the round, and you really want to do it after the opponent has most of their attackers from that area removed. So generally you see a lot of fighting on this map, and then the panel installation happens towards the end game to kind of seal the game and get those extra VPs needed to get to 40 points. So let's get into the gameplay here. It looks like Rivian has initiative and has taken the red deployment zone. I think it's still kind of up in the air which deployment zone is the better one for this map. We've seen a lot of people doing the blue deployment zone to benefit from this area. However, I think Rivian is going to be taking the red based on the fact that he has a lot of ranged attackers. And he is very little exposure to ranged attacks himself, thanks to the Scout's camouflage ability, which makes it very hard to draw line of sight to them, as well as the fact that Christian is playing mostly melee figures. In fact, I think the only ranged attackers in his list are Gideon, which is not much of a ranged threat. So Rivian has gone for the red deployment zone. One reason to go for the blue deployments also is if your opponent has R2-D2 and no way to give R2-D2 extra movement. The terminal is 5 spaces away from the red deployment zone, but Chopper actually has speed 4, so that is not an issue for Chopper, so it doesn't make sense to try to force Christian to take the blue deployment zone just for that, so that kind of makes sense. So let's see how this plays out. There's going to be a lot of positioning and combat, and the objectives are going to be pretty secondary, I think, until the end game. Alright, so both players drawing cards. I will note that Christian is also running Rebel High Command, so he does have that extra draw power to go with the command card denial of Chopper. And interestingly though, Rivian doesn't really have any officers that he's going to be sitting on the terminal. He could just sit a scout trooper on a terminal, and they have 7 health, so they could take 2 rounds of system shock and still survive without taking any cards or any strain as cards. So there we see Davith starts off hidden thanks to his ability, and Luke is going to get focused by C-3PO, who's going to move up to stand in the middle. Nice spot there to position more figures around here and here, as well as here to gain the distracting bonus. I actually like putting the C-3PO and Yoda here and here, so that if I want, I can put a figure here that can then benefit from distracting and send back some damage with Yoda. So that would be actually pretty good with Davith, since he's hidden. It makes him very tough to attack and deal damage to, while being able to punish and counterattack with Yoda. But that is totally fine to put 3PO there, with the expectation of putting a bunch of figures next to him to be safe. And we've got, let's see, Thrawn activating, and discarded planning from the top of Christian's deck. And it looks like Thrawn is actually going to move next to the terminal and going to open the door. So, a good move by Rivian here. It is often good to open your door early when you are playing against melee lists, because that way you can have a way to punish the melee list when they try to open their door to move somebody forward. You get to make the first shot. Makes it a lot harder for Christian to open his door and go in that way. However, Thrawn is not the one I was expecting to take the system shock damage here, as Chopper has not activated yet. But we're going to see Gideon pick up the tap for Christian, and going to focus Mara Jade. And, oh, interesting, going to move Chirrut 2 spaces. Oh no, Chirrut is activating. Okay, so it looks like Rivian passed, and now Chirrut activating, going to pick up the tap as well, and then move back 2 spaces. So I think we said, how many activations did it? 1, 2, 3, 4, wow, only 5 activations, whereas Christian is rocking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 activations. So yeah, we're going to see a few passes from Rivian here. So passed again. Now Christian going to activate Chopper, and going to move all the way over to the far right side, and I'm going to system shock Thrawn. Thrawn's going to take 2 damage, and looks like going to discard the top command card for the strain, and discards Field Tactician. So that's a very strong card when played with Iden Versio, when her companion can play it to move her and then move the droid companion along with it. Looks like Intel Leak is being played here by the Scout Trooper. So I'm going to go for Christian's hand. Christian does not have Smuggling Compartment, so I'm going to have to just discard whatever is there. Oh, we see Vanish. That is a very strong card. Oh, he had the Vanish and the To The Limit combo, which is a really good combo for Davith, also for Mara Jade, since it allows them to get an extra action after they play Vanish, and since Vanish says you can't suffer any conditions, they don't take the stun from To The Limit. So that's unfortunate. Probably going to see either Vanish or To The Limit get taken here. It would be really good for Christian if Rivian takes the Dying Lunge, though. But yeah, I think Rivian is aware of how powerful Vanish is, so going to get rid of that Vanish and take 2 strain on his Scout Trooper, which he's going to discard as a card. So discards Covering Fire and takes 1 damage. So he took 1 damage, 1 strain as damage, and then 1 strain as discarding a card, which is Covering Fire. And interestingly, that Scout Trooper was the one who focused itself with Vader's Finest. And the second Scout Trooper in the group, it looks like it's going to go for the tap up in the back. Yep, grabs a tap and comes back forward. And now, let's see, Yoda going to activate. Going to use Wisdom to draw a card, and going to have to put a card back on the bottom without Channel the Force in the list. And going to move up next to 3PO. Second group of Scout Troopers going to activate. Going to use Vader's Finest to focus one of them. And the other one going to move up. Normally not very safe to put a figure there, but again, only melee in Christian's list, and the camouflage ability makes it so that a figure would have to be standing here to be able to attack that Scout Trooper normally with a ranged attack. Alright, Focus Mara Jade going to double move over to the far left, so now threatening to attack anything that comes over here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, able to move there with 5 speed. Might actually be, I think if I were playing this matchup and seeing where those figures had moved, and seeing that field commander had gotten discarded, so that there's not going to be any huge movement burst from Iden. I think moving here would actually be a good idea for Mara, so that she can threaten. If something comes over here, she can threaten it, and then be able to move back here and be pretty safe. But that's a small thing. Also, it's a little bit more impactful on the other mission, where there is a objective right here that the opponent wants to sit on and put their figure here. So, all right. Well, Iden's going to pick up a tap and gets a damage power token from her droid kit ability from Dio. Or yeah, Dio. Sometimes I get the droid names mixed up because I can't remember what the other. There's Dio, and then BD1 is the one from Jedi Survivor. Alright, Davith going to activate. Going to step next to Yoda and 3PO, but not going to be in line of sight. We've got Kane, Somos activating. Going to move up out of the deployment zone, and now Luke. Going to double move. Oh, he's going to put Luke right there, so that's kind of nice. So now Luke is definitely threatening this side, and it makes it. Normally it's better to threaten with, a range figure, but that is totally valid to move Luke there like that. And now we're going to go into round 2. Yeah, losing Vanish sucked there, but it's not crippling. He didn't lose Son of Skywalker yet. We'll see what happens with Thrawn here. So Rivian going to get initiative going into round 2, but he doesn't have any really great attacks thanks to Christian's positioning. And not a whole lot of ways to really punish Christian either for being patient on this map. Although the panels are actually kind of hard for Christian to deal with. He does have Turret as a cheap attacker that can take out a panel. Gideon might be able to do it if he's focused, but it's a little bit harder for Christian to punish Rivian if he decides to just start installing these taps on these panels. Alright, Christian gonna use the tempo advantage here to go ahead and take another system shock on Thrawn, who takes 2 more damage and loses Calm Disruption from the top from the strain. So that's a pretty important card in this matchup to stop Son of Skywalker if it does get drawn and doesn't get discarded. Oh no, it looks like Thrawn did manage to catch Son of Skywalker off the top though with his ability Strategize. Also gave out a surge token to himself and looks like an evade token to one of the scout troopers. So that hurts. We saw Son of Skywalker. He did do that against Kyle, and it didn't quite win him the match, but I think it's going to make it much harder for Christian with his Luke being a much bigger part of his list, being the 10-point Luke rather than 7. Okay, Thrawn not going to move though. We've got Yoda drawing a card, puts card back, and nobody to focus, unfortunately. So whenever I play Yoda in a list with another focuser, I try to always focus my non-force users if I think I'm not going to be super aggressive round 1, because as you can see here, if he had focused Turret, he would have been able to use Yoda to focus up Davith or Mara there instead. But Gideon and 3PO will be able to focus up Turret and probably Chopper as well. So Gideon going to focus Turret and move him 2 spaces forward. Turret is currently the tap carrier along with Gideon. I don't really like Gideon as a tap carrier because he's so busy doing other things that it's hard for him to find the spare actions to install the taps. I do like Turret though, he's a good tap carrier. I think Davith could be a good one as well, and I think Chopper would have been a good one, except that Chopper obviously needed to go System Shock, so it's hard for him to also spare that action round 1 to grab the tap. So I think Davith and Turret are kind of your best ones, or maybe Mara Jade, because I find her to be really good as a late game piece. So having her spend the first few turns picking up taps kind of makes sense as well, and she's speed 5, so she's pretty good at getting those installed. But we've got 3PO going to move up next to Mara Jade, and now Turret's going to activate. So he's kind of repositioning everybody to the far left corner. It's going to make it very hard for Rivian to get some good attacks here, but Rivian actually does not mind playing the long game, as Rivian has Vader's Finest, so By not being aggressive, Christian is giving Rivian the chance to focus all of his scout troopers up, since they can only focus one figure per group per turn. So the second round of kind of doing nothing is letting Rivian get fully focused up here. I think that when you have 3 focusers in a list, it does make sense to run something like Doubt. If you want to like play that game where you sit back and get focused up, being able to punish your opponent for trying to do the same strategy is really powerful. Even in the original game, we saw that with scum lists that were running Jabba, Gideon, and 3PO in the same list, also running Doubt, so that they could punish anybody who tried to hold back and wait for the initiative to change their way. That was quite effective. But Rivian is just kind of pivoting around. We see that kind of kiting maneuver where Christian's moving to the left, so, bottom left, so Rivian repositions to the top right, trying to keep as much space between his figures and Christian's figures as he can. Looks like Force Rush being played by Luke. So it's going to let him move 6 and attack twice, or move 10 spaces and attack. Ooh, we've got Force Push being played here, so we're going to be able to grab Kane Somos and bring him over for an attack. Let's see, Luke went 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so Luke's got 1 movement point left, and he can do 1 attack here, but it's going to be focused. Yep, going to pull Kane Somos over with the with the Force Push, and here comes the attack. Let's see, we've got 2 surges, so we can pierce 3, which will be reduced to pierce 1. 5, and he does have a reroll available through Heir to the Jedi. So we're going to reroll the green. Nice, so it gets 6. Surge for +1 is 7. Pierce 1 through the Zillow technique, so it's going to do 6 damage. And then I'm going to step back 1 space. And Kane is the only one left that hasn't activated yet, so now Kane gets to attack Luke. But not going to be able to do a firing at least. Oh, a dodge. Okay. This is kind of rough for Rivian. He keeps attacking into these Jedi who dodge against him. Oh, he took 1 more damage? I don't know what that was for, though. Oh, the deflect. Nice. Christian remembering the deflect. I feel like deflect is like the make or break for Jedi Luke. If you can't really you can't really get his full points value from him if you don't remember to trigger deflect every time. Okay. So Davith pushing up on the left side, and Christian making this play because he is going to have initiative going into round 3. So now he's got Luke in a good spot to make a push in. Even without Son of Skywalker, he can now move up and get 2 attacks off to finish off Kane Somos and maybe take out Scout Trooper 2B if he can hold on to initiative. His negation is live now that Comm Disrupt has been discarded by Chopper. Okay, initiative goes down to Christian. And is this a Call of Vanguard? Yes, so that's unfortunate. Means that... Oh, nice, so 1B is going to be able to attack Luke from the right side. Oh, no, actually, Aiden's going to attack Luke from the right side. Going to spend that damage power token she got from Dio, and that is going to be doubled with the Pulse Cannon ability. So +2 damage. Oof, no surges for Luke to block. It's going to be all damage, so that's 6, 7, 8. So Luke going to take 7 damage here. Going to deflect 1 damage back to Aiden. Does he have line of sight? He could deflect it onto 2B if he had line of sight, but it doesn't. So he can only do it to figures in his line of sight. He could do it onto 1B if he wanted, but it makes sense to hit Aiden with that. Okay, and looks like Christian gets to keep an initiative, so he's going to go ahead and... Oh, wait. Aiden is going to use Suppressive Fire. Let's see, that's a neutral card. Suppressive Fire from Season 2. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's going to weaken Luke, and it's going to make his attacks quite a bit less effective. So Luke is weakened and able to move the Scout Trooper 2 spaces as well. Okay. Oh, is Luke playing Heart of Freedom? Oh, we've got second chance on Luke and Heart of Freedom. I'm going to clear that weaken and give him some extra movement points. And heal some of that damage off as well. So Luke going to attack here. Not going to be weakened. And going to go for Kane Somos first, I'm assuming. And was that a... Oh, Element of Surprise. Takes out Kane Somos. He needed to deal 5. He did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with a surge. Yeah, just really wanted to guarantee that Kane Somos died there, and he didn't lose that KO to a really bad dice roll from Luke, even with the reroll. Because that blue-red, that blue-green-yellow, you can really whiff on getting 3 surges, even with a reroll. So Christian picks up 7 VPs, and now going to use Poke ability to attack the Focus Scout Trooper. I will note here, he could also have used Heroic to attack for free, and then taking another move action. He would have had 6 movement points. He could have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, actually, he wouldn't have been able to. So yeah, I think this makes sense. Just go for a loud attack here. Goes for the reroll. I'm going to be doing 4 damage. Yeah, just 4 damage. No knowledge and defense to redraw. So 4 damage, which is pretty good. Unfocused. Gonna move in deeper, it looks like. So possibly setting up for a parting blow here. And we've concentrated fire being played, so it looks like the Scout Troopers are going to try and take out Luke. Oh, you know what he's probably doing is he's making sure that his line of sight to 2B is not blocked, because he can kill 2B with a deflection, as long as it's within 3 spaces and in his line of sight. So I'm assuming 2B going to... Oh no, he's attacking with 1A. Ooh, I wonder if he should have attacked with 2B instead, so he can move it out of line of sight for future attacks. But 1A going to be attacking Luke, Scout Trooper, with a focus. And Luke is going to have... So the, as we saw before against Leia, find weakness, canceling out Luke's +1 evade. But going to be able to keep the evade on the white dice, so it looks like we're doing 4 damage right now before the reroll. And I think we're still doing... Oh no, now we're doing 5 damage. And Luke going to deflect 1 damage onto 2B, which leaves it at 1 health. And now 1B activating. Going to open the door to Chopper. So it's kind of perilous now. 2B is going to have to move away, but it looks like 2B is stunned because of that concentrated fire. So I don't know if 2B is going to be able to move away and attack without dying. Interesting. Chopper retreating off of the terminal. Oh, but not before doing a system shock, which hit Dio, who has 4 health, so Dio took 3 damage. But now could also die to a Luke deflection, possibly. And sure, going to go ahead and install that panel, which is not very safe now because Rivian has had to cede the left side. So I think this panel is in pretty good shape. The left side is going to start giving Christian some VPs. We don't usually see the panels get installed this early in the fighting. It looks like Rivian just passing, which is interesting. We've got Gideon going to activate. And going to double move. Ooh, but he is definitely in range of some attacks. Thrawn could attack Gideon. 2B could go... Well, I guess 2B can't attack Gideon because he's stunned, but if he has a way to get rid of the stun. Okay, 3PO going to move up and focus Gideon, and now it looks like Rivian going to have to activate. Going to clear the stun on 2. Looks like he's just going to go ahead and sacrifice, although if he can get the kill on Luke, the deflect won't work, but That is another dodge against Rivian, and that is going to kill the Scout Trooper as Luke survives the attack. So deflection takes it down, or Luke's deflect ability pings that trooper for the rest of the damage he needed. And now 2A, what is 2A going to do? Just going to control the terminal, it looks like. Yoda going to activate for Christian, and going to move to support Gideon? No, going to move up and block line of sight to Davith, which is interesting. Okay, and now Thrawn going to discard... Let's see, he gives a damage token to a Scout Trooper, an evade token to himself, and a block token to the other Scout Trooper. I didn't see if he discarded anything, so I don't know what happened there. But, oh no, he doesn't roll any surges, which he needs to trigger that surge for +3 damage. And so that's going to be 5. The Pierce one completely useless here. And oh, you know what? The surge wasn't going to matter anyway because of Luke's +1 evade. But does this do enough damage? No, Luke has 16 health, so he's going to be 1 damage short here. And Luke going to be able to ping again onto Thrawn. Oh, he's got a reroll with Officer's Training. But, oh, Negation going to stop the reroll, which is pretty kind of unlikely. I think there was only a 1 in 6 chance, but makes sense to negate it. Just take away the opponent's ability to get that kill. And Luke does 1 damage back to Thrawn for the deflect. And now Davith on the move. Just going to double move all the way over to Thrawn. Iden going to activate. And looks like Dio's going to go for the kill on Luke here. If he doesn't get it, he's going to die to deflect. Dio does have +1 damage and a yellow die. Got that +1 evade. Oh, I think that's it. I think Luke needs a dodge here or some kind of defensive command card. Oh, the Dio got the kill. Luke goes down to the yellow dice. And now Dio can move back. Right? Luke is dead. Oh, did Luke have second chance? I think the second chance goes off. Oh, and that means Dio's going to die to deflect. Right? Yeah, second chance goes off. And... oh, he deflected onto Thrawn. Okay, that makes sense. And Iden doesn't have any attacks. And now Mara Jade going to move in as well. And it looks like that is that the end of the round? Oh no, they're backing up. I'm not sure what's going on, but it looks like Iden's going to try to attack. Oh, Iden is going to go for Chopper. But she doesn't have her power token because of she didn't have Dio. So she wasn't able to use Droid Kit, and Thrawn didn't spot her a token either. So no pulse cannon ability on this attack. Can she kill Chopper, who has 5 health? It doesn't look like it. She's only got Surge for +1 damage and Surge for Pierce 1. And so I think she's actually just doing 4 damage. So we're going to be 1 short. And now we see Mara Jade double moving. And that's unfortunate for Mara that she lost both Vanish and Son of Skywalker. They're kind of the 2 main cards that she benefits from being played with Davith and Luke Skywalker. But we're going into round 3? No, what is this? Round 3? Round 4. Round 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. Round 2. This is round 4. Going into round 4. And Christian has quite the lead here on Rivian, so let's see what happens. And it looks like Christian also has the take initiative, and do we see a negation from Rivian? Yes, I see the negation was played. So Rivian gonna get to keep initiative here. Gonna have to take out Luke for sure. So Thrawn gonna activate, and I see a command card being played. What command card is that? I do not know. I cannot see it. But maybe it'll come back. Okay, Okay, well, I see some power tokens going out. I see a damaged power token was given to Iden, evade power token to a scout, block power token to another scout, and a surge power token to Thrawn. And also probably see him discard a card from the opponent's deck, from Christian's deck. And this, oh, it looks like Pummel was discarded. I don't know what the command card was that he just played, though. He's going to attack Luke, spends a surge token, and going to get the damage unless Luke's got something else. Ooh, and Celebration going to come down for Rivian, so that's big. Going to get 14 points off of this Luke kill, which is going to even up the score. Oh, they're doing objectives. And Christian also got 4 points from the tap being installed. Oh, it looks like Rivian had also installed his tap, so both players are getting 4 VPs. Got 4 VPs at the end of there. And now it looks like it is Christian's activation, I believe. No, wait, what happened? Why is Luke not dead? Why is Luke not dead? Oh, is this Dying Lunge? Oh, this is Dying Lunge. That's right, from round 1. That's the card that didn't get taken from Christian's hand. So Luke going to be able to attack Thrawn here, it looks like, and takes out Thrawn. And, oh, Christian has the Celebration as well. So Christian going to get 10 points from that and go to 25. Okay, and Luke goes down. And now it is Christian's activation. Going to activate Davith, and we're going to get to see Davith do some cool Davith stuff, attacking this Scout Trooper. Now, I don't like that evade token on him, though, but it might just be he has to do it, because if he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he can't get to any of the other figures, so he's just going to have to hope he can roll surges here to get through that power token. With a focus and a hidden. Oh, does he have it? Yeah, I think he has it. He has just enough to use Fell Swoop, which is why I love that we made Fell Swoop only cost 1 surge. So that you have a much higher chance of being able to pull it off, because it's just such an important part of what Davith does that makes him feel like a really cool figure. That's a lot of damage too, so he's going to be doing 4 damage to the Scout Trooper. 3 damage. 3 damage to the Scout Trooper. Going to discard for Zillow. Discarded Kane Somas' card, Rally the Troops. So Davith can move through the Scout Trooper and deal 1 damage to him. But it looks like he's choosing not to deal the extra damage with Cut and Run. I'm not sure why. He's probably saving it for... Oh, maybe he's saving it... Oh, I see what he did. He killed Dio with it. So he went through Dio. He actually has to exit the space. When you exit a space, so he'd have to go here and then here to actually do that, but that's fine. So kills Dio. The triple block is unfortunate with the block token, and Zillow technique has not been exhausted yet, so I think we're going to see Search for +2, Search for Pierce 3. I think that's just going to be 2 damage. Yep. And then... Ooh, what is this now? Oh, so that... He just left Davith there and decided not to move him. He could have moved Davith away. I'm not sure if leaving Davith there was the best thing to do, because, you know, he only did... He attacked spending an action move. I'm pretty sure. So, anyway, attacking Davith. You know, that hidden might have mattered a little more. The Scout Trooper is going to do... There's 1 block. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think we're going to see 6 damage, unless he rerolls with Professional. Okay, so could be doing 8, so 7 damage to Davith here. Or he could Pierce and do 6 damage and weaken. No, we're going to do 7, the full 7 with the Surge for +2, and then the Scout Trooper's going to move away. Scout Trooper's trying to get the kill here. I'm going to spend the damage token, inviting the dodge a little bit, but no, he's going to go down. And I guess with the token, it doesn't actually matter if you... The dodge doesn't matter, or the token doesn't matter about if you get dodged, so never mind about that. But Rivian takes down Davith, and now going to 24. This game is getting closer now. Much closer. We're down to Marjade, who unfortunately has lost a lot of her potential targets here. Turret is also a little bit out of position. Although Marjade could cut through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She'll need a movement card either way. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She needs something like urgency to be able to attack one of these scout troopers. So Rivian doing a good job kiting. Oh, nice. Going to use Chopper here before he goes down. Uses the Ram ability to deal... Let's see, is that 2 damage? Oh, you're supposed to roll a dice. Unless I missed something. Oh, he's system shocked. Interesting. Oh yeah, he couldn't ram. Although he could have rammed... He could have rammed Iden and then attacked Iden with a focus. So, that's an interesting choice. So system shocked the scout trooper and moved on to the terminal instead of trying to hide and not get killed. Scout trooper, or Rivian discarded a card from the top of the deck for the strain from the system shock. It was element of surprise. And now we're going to see Rivian going to activate... Oh, did Rivian pass? That's interesting. Alright, so Yoda going to activate. Going to double move next to Marjade. And Rivian going to pass again. Could activate Turret. Looks like 3PO was exhausted for Take Initiative. Although, no, he shouldn't have been exhausted because Take Initiative got negated. Alright, so now the Scout Troopers are going to activate. Looks like he's going to attack probably Chopper. Yeah, Chopper going to go down. And Rivian goes to 27. I'm too far away to install the tap here. And now Marjade gonna just... Yep, doesn't have a movement card to get an attack, so he's going to move up to try to position close enough to do so. Oh, Iden's going to go for Rivian, or for Christian's panel on the left side. With the pulse cannon, only has to deal 5 damage through 1 block, and it does so. So that destroys the panel. Ah, but Gideon is there ready to install the tap on the middle one. So still going to be even up 4 VPs each. And we're going into round 5. Are we going to get round 5, or I'm assuming time might have been called here. And that means Rivian is ahead because Chopper went down. Oh, we still get 1 more round. Okay. So Christian gets initiative. Marjade gonna attack this Scout Trooper with Focus. That's still going to leave Iden and 2 more Scout Troopers, though, and Turret is just too far away to attack. I think putting him up high like that, I'm not sure about that, if that was the right thing to do. Christian going to go to 33, and now we've got, again, Iden and 2 Scouts that can all attack Mara here. So Scout Troopers going to take a shot at Mara. Ooh, who dodges? That was a big dodge. Big dodge. Okay. Gideon gonna activate. Gonna take a shot at the damaged Scout Trooper. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gideon does not have line of sight, though. He is too far away. 1, 2, 3. He would need to go 1, 2, 3. He cannot... I don't think he can attack that Scout because of camouflage. He needs to be within 3 spaces. They catch it. Looks like they don't catch it yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 damage through the block token. Zillow can make it 2. Yeah, 2 damage. Yeah, they didn't catch it, but Scout Trooper is going to counterattack Gideon. Because if both players are even, Rivian just needs to get that 3 points, and he will be ahead. I think he should not have exposed Gideon there. Rerolls with Professional, and that's going to be 4, 5, 6, Pierce 1. Yeah, that's a one-shot on Gideon. These Scout Troopers pack a punch when they are focused. Now Rivian is up 1 point, and 3PO gonna flee. Gonna try to do something here, but he only has 1 movement, and I'm assuming this is the final round. Oh, and Iden gonna install a panel. Now wait a second though. There's already a blue tap on that. I don't think you can install if there's already one installed. Figure and retrieve tap. Figure carrying tap can interact with the panel, place a tap on that panel. The tap is installed. Limit 1 tap installed per panel. Taps cannot be installed adjacent to taps of the same color. Okay, interesting. So I didn't know that both players can have their taps installed on the same panel cluster. So that's cool. So I'm going to move up and install her tap on the panel. So now Rivian's got 2 installed taps to Christian's 1, and I think that's going to lock it up because no more activations, and that's going to be 8 points to Rivian. Puts him at 42, and Christian goes 37, and that is the game. Wow, that was very close, and also like quite the comeback for Rivian there. Well played, and you can show how these scouts can be very efficient. And I think he did a very good job of kiting Christian's forces and preventing Mara and Chirrut from impacting the game as much as they probably could have if there had been figures left closer to them. So well played to Rivian, also well played to Christian. Love seeing the Jedi again, love seeing Davith. That was a great game. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll catch you for the next tournament skirmish game.